Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. It is an early one this morning. Get involved in the show as Manchester United take on Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. Not exactly been a happy hunting ground for Manchester United in recent years. Can Amorim change that? I mean, after Everton got absolutely rinsed by Newcastle, how many goals do they want to go and score at their ground? We couldn't score against them with 10 men. It's really time that Manchester United and Amorim show up today and prove something to us and show us, you know what, we can go out there and we can go and beat a very good side in Crystal Palace, who are not going to help us in the way that they play. But let's get involved. Everybody get involved in the comments with your thoughts, your feelings. Are you nervous going into this? Do you feel like Manchester United might actually turn it on today? Let us know how you're feeling. Get your coffee, your tea, your hot chocolate, in Mordzs' case, ready, because it is an early one and we're going to go through so many things in today's show. We've got tactics board, we've got a Crystal Palace fan coming in. It's going to be fantastic, so stay tuned and get involved. And I'm Beth and I'm also joined with Mordzs. Welcome. Yeah,
I mean, look, early kickoff Sunday. I was saying before, I don't think we've had a 12 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday ever.
It's early. Half 12's been the earliest, hasn't it? And 12 is early.
And that's on a Saturday as well. You can get away with it on a Saturday, but Sunday it's like sleeping, you know what I mean? But like, hopefully United can make it worth it, because we've been in here for about, 2 hours now, since like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So look, we need to bring the energy up though. We need to, obviously I want United to win, but especially because it's such an early kickoff as well.
Exactly. I mean, come on, please go and get the win. I can't do it again like I did on Monday night. It was horrendous throughout the whole week. And do you know, when you get up that early as well and you're looking forward to the day, it just kind of, it takes over the whole day, whatever happens when it's this early. So yeah, I'm really hoping we can get something. I'm going to be so honest. I mean, straight away, smash in United draw, Palace win, or United to go and win the game. So do you think it's going to be a win, a draw, or a loss? Get in your thoughts on the poll, but I'm going to straight away ask Mordzs, honestly...
I should be asking you, but go on.
Honestly, you can ask me. Honestly, do you think United are going to win today?
On it, like my heart in my chest.
Like if I put you on a lie detector test, what would come
I don't know, I'd be nervous though. I'd be nervous. You know what I will say? Football, it's an amazing game. Anyone can win. You know, anyone can beat anyone on any given day. If you have your best game and they have their worst game, you can definitely win. Now, if I'm going to go off based on, you know, how United have been performing recently, and, you know, looking at Crystal Palace as well this season, it isn't in our favour. They do have a pretty good team. If we're going to look, even if you go man for man, they've still got a pretty good team. They've got a great manager. They're playing at home, so everything is kind of going in their favour. But I guess
I'm hearing a lot of talking around.
I'm getting
to
the point. I'm getting to the point. They've got a great manager. Everything is in their favour. So if I'm going to predict a win or a loss, I'm going to go for a draw.
On the fence, actually, absolute classic. Do you know what? Just so everyone knows, when Mordzs predicts a draw, it means he thinks we're going to lose, but doesn't want to say it.
That's not true.
It is.
That's not true.
He always predicts a win because he's positive, and you know you want us to win, which is a good thing. I remember when I used to be like that before. I've been like that for years. The life's been drained out of me, Mordzs. I'm feeling pretty broken. So, sorry guys. No, we are very excited for today. No, but it's just one of them. Like you've got to go with how you feel, don't you? But when Mordzs predicts a draw, it does kind of mean that he thinks we're going to lose, but we don't want to say.
We never draw when I predict a draw. So technically, we should win today.
Technically.
Yeah.
I hope so. Well, let's see what the poll says and what people think. I mean, if you're going off Man United's recent form, it's the 2-1. The last 5 games, the 2-1 win in Liverpool, and we're all absolutely buzzing. I mean, they seem like a side everyone can beat, really.
Yeah,
come on, West Ham. Come on, West Ham. But so it was a 2-1 win to Liverpool. Then it was the 4-2 win versus Brighton at home. 1-0 draw against Forest, 2-0 draw against Spurs, and a 1-0 loss to Everton. So if you look at it, you know, when you look back at the furthest away games in the last 5, the Liverpool and the Brighton, we're all happy, we're all smiling, and then it's draw, loss. If we don't get a win today, that's 4 without a win. Like, we've got to go out there and show something.
No, it's poor. And to be fair, can I just circle back, because you didn't give your prediction. You put me under the spot, so we're going.
Did you like the way I pivoted away from that? To be fair, there is some people in the comments saying I feel deflated. You know, Crystal Palace are a good side. I want us to win, but I'm really not feeling like we're going to be able to do it today. I'm going to be so honest with everyone. Everything in me wants United to win and wants us to play really well. I hope we go down there to Selhurst Park, smash them up 3-0, come home, we're absolutely buzzing, we're all saying that was just a little blip against Everton. But if you want my honest opinion, I see away at Selhurst, Sunday, 12 o'clock kickoff, and based on the way that we play and what Palace have done to us in the past and what a good manager Oliver Glasner is, I'm going to be so honest, say I hope I'm really wrong. I hope that everyone's saying, Beth, you were so wrong, have trust, have faith in Amorim. I don't see anything but a loss. I'm going to be honest, I don't see anything but a loss. I really wanted to do a 2-2 draw that year. I was so close to putting it in, you know, when we get asked for our predictions, to putting that in the chat, but I had to go with a loss because I just don't see anything else. They're a better side than us. Glasner's a better manager currently than Amorim is, and they're at home. Their place will be bouncing. And okay, they have played midweek on Thursday, 8 o'clock kickoff, so we should be way more energised than them. We should be, after watching Newcastle rip Everton apart yesterday, I hope them players were sat there thinking, oh my word, we need to go out there and absolutely like go for it. We need to leave everything on the pitch. I mean, they should do that every week. But we should be riled up, wanting to prove ourselves, wanting to show a bit of pride because Everton, you know, are not as good as we made them look. But I just don't see it. I think Palace will do us. I don't think it'll be a thrashing, but I think they'll have the home advantage, unfortunately. But we should have the advantage with the midweek fixture. We've had a week off.
I've got a question though, and it's based on the 5 unbeaten, that little 5-game streak where, let's be honest, a lot of people were, including me. I'm not gonna act like I wasn't one of those people. We were a bit excited. We did think that things were changing. Do you feel like going 5 games unbeaten isn't as much of a turnaround as people think it is? Because I'm just looking at Crystal Palace's last 6 games. So they beat Liverpool 3-0, as we did, but I think theirs was a little bit more convincing. Ours was a bit shaky at times. They beat Brentford 2-0. They beat AZ Alkmaar. I've not watched them before, so I don't know how great they are, but they beat them 3-1. They drew to Brighton 0-0, and then they beat Wolves 2-0. And then they lost their last game to Strasbourg 2-1 in the Conference League. Now, they technically went on a streak as well of 5 games unbeaten, but they obviously won more than us. Does that kind of, and that's also when I say the same thing about Sean Dyche, about how he went on 5 games unbeaten. There's quite a few teams that have gone 5 games unbeaten, but they're not as excited as United have been. He
equalled Amorim's record with him. He's been at Forest for 5 minutes.
Yeah, literally. I think he's managed 7 games, and he already had 5 games unbeaten. So does that kind of just show you where our standards are in terms of how well we're actually doing?
Mordzs, I don't want to get negative before a game.
I'm just asking the questions.
I'm gonna be so honest. Like, it's just the standards are nowhere near where they should be. The manager is nowhere near where he should be. The team's nowhere near where it should be. And I really hope today we win. And everyone's saying it's just a blip. But unless it's a massively convincing performance, I'm still not going to be 100% sold based on the last year. It's just like the last season, people say it's a bit of a write-off. Yeah, okay, but it still happened.
You can't write off a whole season.
We still went from competing for European football to 15th in the league and losing the Europa League final. And then this year, like you said, it's not been as convincing. And people might disagree with me on this, and Ricky might, but get in the comments what you think. And there's already super chats coming in, so thank you very much for getting them in. Appreciate that. We're going to get your thoughts and feelings in as well. But I see Bournemouth, right? First of all, their squad is nowhere near as good as ours. But they play good football. Like they might sometimes they might lose like 4-3, or it might, but it's always a high scoring, good game of football to watch. Like if we were out here like actually playing good football, but maybe just missing out here and there, I'd see the vision, I'd see the project, like Arteta was kind of doing when he was like gradually building up with Arsenal. Like they were playing good football, they just weren't managing to get wins. We look like we don't know what we're doing when we're on the pitch, like, and we don't play well. It's like watching paint dry sometimes. I mean, it was actually, when I was in the stadium at Old Trafford against Everton, like it was actually like really, really torturous at times, like watching us play. And I don't want to feel that way about my club. I love United. I mean, no matter how we play, I love watching us play. I always look forward to the games, but it's the way we're playing. It's how long it's been and how long and people say, well, we're better than last season.
Are we?
I think we are. But we've also signed better players in Mbumo, who's basically carrying us, and we're playing 1 game a week. We're not playing Europa League.
Yeah, I genuinely feel like there was a point when we were in the Europa League where we were playing better football than this. Like, I feel like even that Atletico Bilbao game where Mount scored 2 goals and I think Bruno scored like a few goals and we beat them like 4-1 or something like that. I think around that time we were playing better football than we are playing right now.
And plus, it's like people say, well, Amorim can't do it all straight away. Give him time. Nottingham Forest were literally in a relegation battle and Dyche's got them playing football. Like, managers do come in and improve a team. Like, that happens. I'm not saying we have to be Premier League title contenders, but by now, I need to be seeing more than what I've seen. Yeah. And I'm just... Anyway,
I agree.
You're getting me into it, aren't you? We can talk about this all day.
I'm usually the one to talk about this, and people get on to me, oh, yeah, Amorim this and da-da-da, and now I'm just letting you speak.
I'm not... people can get on to me all they want. Yeah. I want my team to win games and I want us to be competing. When I see other teams competing in the Champions League, competing in Europe, like, I'm jealous of that.
Yeah.
When I see people saying, oh, Mordzs, Caicedo and Declan Rice, that's going to be the midfield battle like Roy Keane and Vieira for the next decade. Why have we not got a midfielder who compete in that? And I know that's not Amorim's fault. That goes back to, recruitment and stuff like that. But it's a long process. And I'm Sir Jim talks about not running to the wrong decision and walking to the right decision and patience and, we need time and we've got a project. And it's like, football doesn't wait for anyone. I want to be... I'm not saying we've got to win the Prem next year or even this year, but I want to be competing for Europe. I want to be improving. I want to be, looking like we're actually going somewhere.
Good trajectory, yeah.
I need to see something quicker. Yeah. Sooner rather than later. My patience is getting thin now.
I actually like that point about football not waiting for anyone, because one thing that we should have all seen this. We have all seen this in football before, especially looking at this season, how the tides can change. Look at someone like Liverpool. Liverpool probably thought they were on the trajectory to dominate the Premier League for the next 5 years, especially considering what they did last year, how much money they've spent, new manager, all these kind of things. They probably thought, you know what, we're going to be one of the top clubs in the world for the next however many years, and already they're looking like they're going to have to make big changes straight away to get back to where they want it to be. And we've seen it before with Chelsea. Chelsea can go 1 year, finish 10th, and the next year win the league. We've seen them do it before. They can win the Champions League and finish 6th. The football doesn't necessarily work just by time. You can't necessarily say in the next 3 years we're going to be at this point, because the next 3 years you don't know what the other teams are going to do. You don't know how you might have a career-ending injury to your best player. One of your players could just leave for whatever reason. You never know how it's going to work. So making long-term plans is great. Everyone should do it, but you should also be trying to think of how can we get the best right now as well, because you never know how quickly football can change.
Absolutely. Brilliant point, Mordzs. And there's some good points from you guys coming in the comments as well. Away says, my feeling is so happy to see you, Queen Beth. Thank you very much. I'm glad I'm brightening someone's morning up. Starbuck6955 says, just got accepted to do learning disability nursing degree. Absolutely buzzing today. Let's get a win and make the day perfect. Absolutely fantastic. Congratulations to you. You'll be making the world a better place there, and thank you for everything that you do, and also brilliant. Congrats. Hopefully United can kind of celebrate that and get a win with you today. James R.Y. says, I agree with Beth, this isn't going to be good. Look, and Rob always United, I know, I don't want to bring your positive vibe down. We want to bring the positive energy up, but also I don't want to come on here and just say, yeah, United's going to win. Yeah, I'm so excited. Oh yeah, this is going. I don't want to be fake as well. It's like that balance of trying to be positive and obviously we're going to back the team and back the manager. Like we've always said, we want nothing but United to turn it around. Amorim to go on like a 10-game win streak and him be the next United manager for 20 years, win loads of titles. We want nothing more than that. But also we've got to be honest in our opinions. So it's kind of. It's that balance. We're just fans that want our team to do the best, and everyone's got different opinions, and you're sharing yours, and that is absolutely brilliant. And someone said, hey, fearing playing Palace, how the mighty have fallen. Palace are a good side. Like most teams would fear to play Palace because they are a good side. But if you look at Manchester United's last fixtures against Palace,
I'll be honest, that Elise goal.
Oh, it haunts me. Yeah. And it's the way you had the camera on as well.
Yeah,
and you just see Casemiro sliding to the floor.
That day, probably one of the worst Casemiro games in my life. One of the worst. I think he still gets nightmares of what Elise did to him from that day.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's in there, the last 5. So, most recent, in February 2025, it was a 2-0 loss. Then before that, it was a 0-0 draw at Old Trafford. I remember that. It was the dullest game. Yeah. And then the game before that, it was a 4-0 loss, the one you were talking about, where Elise tore us a new one. Before that, it was a 1-0 loss as well. And then before that, Anthony Martial is the pitcher. It was a 3-0 win. Martial, bring him back. Good time.
That must have been a completely different team to that.
Exactly. So the last time we beat Palace Martial was in the team, so that says it all, really. If you look at the 4-0 loss, there's just, I mean, you'll be able to see it on your screen. It's just Goldbridge's face. That was a terrible day out at Selhurst, and Selhurst can do that to you. It's, in my opinion, it's one of the best Premier League stadiums. I think it's fantastic. The atmosphere is unbelievable there, and that's why I worry. It's always a tough place to go. Most teams would fear playing them, but for United, it really has been a really tough place to go. It's been a tough team for us to play against, and they just seem to be going from strength to strength. I know they lost midweek, but Strasbourg are doing really well. They're actually a really good side, and it's different, you know, when it comes down to the Premier League. So what is sad is I do think I don't know, I've not looked. If you looked at the odds today, I think you'd probably get better odds. If you were to say United will beat Palace, like it's.
Oh yeah.
But it's the odds for. I think the odds would be in Palace's favour. Like they're the favourites to win this game.
Yeah. Let's be honest. Like that's not surprising.
No.
I don't think anyone would be like, I was crazy. What it should be, people always think that the bigger team should always win just because they're the bigger team. But I mean, especially when you look at the Premier League this season, we spoke about it in one of the forums. The Premier League, I feel like it's a weak league this year, and people say like they think it's a strong league because it's competitive. Now I think it's a weak league because every team has the ability to lose, and I don't think it's a positive thing. But I even look at like City yesterday. City are supposed to be a title contending team, but I feel like they could just lose to anyone. You know, and they just about beat Leeds yesterday with a last minute goal. So I feel like it's a weak league because there's so much. It's a bit of a transition phase for a lot of teams, and there's some teams that are going up, some teams that are going down, some teams that are playing better than they should be, some teams that are playing a lot worse than they should be. But a game like today, Palace have no doubt in their mind that they can beat United. No doubt. They did not think, it's Man United's a big club. No, they're thinking we are the favourites today. We should be beating United at home.
I have a question for you. What's more enjoyable at the moment, watching United play or watching Liverpool?
It's tough.
So a few people in the chat saying they're looking forward to the Liverpool game, hoping it's going to be another loss for them. But let's see. I mean, what I want to do, Mordzs, is I want to go through before we send you over to your tactics board to predict the starting 11. Let's see if we get it right, and we'll be getting you involved in that. We've actually got like a fun little feature to bring in, which we want to get you involved with. So get your comments in the chat as well, because I'm going to be reading them out as we go through it. We're just going to quick fire go through United's 11. The most common 11 that Amorim plays, and Crystal Palace's 11, and we're going to say which player we think is better. Player for player, this or that, okay?
Easy.
Starting off, Henderson versus Lemens.
No, I'm going to say Henderson, but I don't think it's crazy far off, I'm being honest. I don't think it's that far off from Lemens. If it wasn't for that Everton game, he would be unbeaten for United. You know, it's just one game, so I still really like Lemens, but I mean, Henderson's a great keeper in my opinion, so I think he's got like 6 clean sheets this season, so I'll go with Henderson, yeah. I
agree. I remember when I said that I wanted him to play and everyone went in on me, but I would go with that. I really like the look of Lemens, but Henderson's just done some good stuff for Palace, even like the FA Cup and stuff like that.
Ex-United player, don't mind it.
Exactly. Next one, we have Gahey versus Luke Shaw.
That's Gahey.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Gahey. Are you going to say Gahey?
Yeah, as much as I like Luke Shaw, Gahey is just absolutely fantastic for me. Apparently Real Madrid are interested, I'm not surprised.
No surprise.
This is another thing that I feel like where United's at, it's holding us back from going and getting the top players. We should be signing, Manchester United Football Club should be signing Gahey, they should be signing Anderson, and they should be going out there and signing like a proper good centre forward. I wouldn't mind Mateta, and I'd have that conversation. But we should be going out and signing some of the best players in the Premier League. Like, I don't think Mateta is one of the best players in the Premier League, but we should be going out there and signing definitely Gahey and Anderson, and I just don't know if we'll be able to do that.
Gahey does give me similar vibes in the sense of where he's in his career to Mbeumo, though. Similar age, Premier League team, probably the best player on that Premier League team, and a mid-table team. I mean, Gahey arguably probably is one of the first names on that England team sheet when it comes to the defence anyway. So, yeah, I think they are in the similar part of their career, but for some reason we can get an Mbeumo, but Gahey just seems too far-fetched.
Yeah, I think they'll have too many clubs coming after him, and it's like, it'll be interesting, but they're the ones we should be signing. Next up, Lacroix versus De Ligt. I think that's tough, but I'd go with De Ligt.
I'll go with De Ligt, yeah.
Lacroix's been very, very good this season, but De Ligt, for me, is been our best defender and one of the best centre-backs in the league this season. Next up, and this is no particular order really, Mitchell versus Dorgu.
Yeah, it's Mitchell. But, it's Mitchell. I think he's a better player in general,
This is a tough one. Munoz versus Ahmad.
That is tough. I'm going to go for Ahmad. There is going to be a little bit of bias in there, obviously, but I think he really can't. There's nothing really bad you can say about Munoz. I think he does everything great in that position.
As a player, I'd go Ahmad. As a wing back, I'd go Munoz. Munoz is the best wing back in Europe for me at the minute. He's fantastic.
Fair enough.
And I know people might think that's wild, but he's so good.
There's not a lot of wing backs in Europe.
No, there's actually not. There's actually not, to be fair. But he's so good.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's great. But Ahmad, I'm gonna have to go with our player there.
We'll let you take the forward on that one. Yoro versus Richards.
Chris Richards ain't even that bad, but I'm gonna go with Yoro.
This season, it's Richards this season.
I think defensively, I'll go with Richards, but I think that when it comes to that progressiveness, like progressing the ball, his carrying, his passing, I think I'd take Yoro there. But defensive actions, like tackling, blocks, all that kind of stuff, I'm sure the stats were there that he probably had better defensive actions than Yoro, but I'm still going to go with Yoro.
This is an interesting one. Adam Wharton versus Casemiro.
Yeah, I'll go with Wharton. But I still don't think Casemiro's been that bad to say that's a huge gap this season. But it is definitely Morton though.
Very mixed, by the way, from everyone in the comments. Mixed on Yoro and Richards. You've got mixed on Munoz and Ahmad. It's interesting, isn't it? And this just shows as well, like Palace are doing way better than us, but a lot of the players, people are thinking of 50-50, and it's like, well, we should be doing better then. Also, we should have a better team than Palace, but anyway, it is what it is. Sarr versus Mbeumo.
Yeah, this is a funny one. Was it Ricky who said he...
Ricky left Mbeumo out of his combined 11. Crazy.
Crazy. I'm going with Mbeumo. He's our best player. If we can't get our best player in, then we're in trouble.
I WhatsApped Ricky and I had a word with him. I said, sort yourself out. Yeah. Like, Sarr's really good, but Mbeumo, come on.
Yeah.
He's our best player. And
Mbeumo would start for them.
Oh, yeah, he would.
Yeah.
Pino versus Cunha.
I'm taking the best version of Cunha. I'm not going to take... I know a lot of people have got a little bit of a sour spell with Cunha because recently he's not been the greatest, but I think the best version of Cunha is better, yeah.
I agree. Pino's been good this season, but the best version of Cunha is if you said to me, do you want to swap Cunha for Pino now? I'd say no. Yeah. Respectfully. Yeah. Mateta versus Sesko.
Yeah, Mateta, a bit more experience, especially in the Premier League. He's probably going to get more goals this season. I wouldn't. If you're going to ask me if I would swap them though, right now, I don't know if I'd do that. Just because, again, age and all that kind of stuff. Mateta is 29, 30 years old. Sesko's 22. So much more that Sesko can do in his career. So I would still keep Sesko in our team. But if you're saying like one-off game or something, I think I'd take Mateta. Yeah.
Mateta is currently better, but I hope Sesko's got so long. He's got so much time to get to where he needs to be. But when you look at the two players where they're at now, for the now, who would get you more points? Mateta. He's an out and out bully. Yeah. I said before that we should sign him. Maybe not. Maybe we should be looking at others. But he's definitely someone that I think would help improve us. But yeah, I would go with Mateta now. But Sesko's got a high ceiling, and hopefully he can reach it. Last but not least, Kamada versus Bruno.
In that position, it depends on what position we're talking about. Genuinely, if we're talking about that midfield, that double pivot, whatever you're going to call it, it is Kamada in that position. But Bruno's definitely the better player. That's a fact. Bruno's definitely a better player than Kamada. And in Bruno's best position, he's obviously the better player as well. But in that midfield too, I think Kamada probably do a better job.
Mordzs said it. But
it's not like I don't think that's even a crazy take. If you watch Crystal Palace, you probably say the same thing. But Bruno's the better player in Bruno's best position. Yeah.
Well, I think Bruno's a better player, so I'm going to go with Bruno. But I agree. I don't think he that's his position in the midfield too at all. Yeah. He should be playing closer to goal, and we'll see if he does that in today's game. I don't think Amorim will. I think he's going to be stubborn, but that's chat for the tactics board. Yeah. That is chat for the tactics board. I mean, speaking of Amorim being pretty stubborn, and some would argue maybe not having a plan B, which I think he's going to need today, because if you've not kept up, guys, if you're just tuning in, you're getting your pre-match fix. Cunha is out today, Sesko is out today, Maguire's also still out, so because Maguire fits in the number 9 category. He's going to have to be a bit creative again. Will it be Xerxes? Will it be Mount? Could you push Bruno further forward? What is Amorim's plan B? So speaking of Amorim, I really liked one of the hot takes that one of the fans sent in this week on our hot take show. It was... I thought they hit the nail on the head anyway.
Yeah. And if you guys don't know anything about a hot take show, first of all, if you don't know what a hot take is, let me explain quickly what it is. It's basically a wildest but honest opinion. So don't come and say, oh, I think Dalo's better than Dorgu. Fair opinion, but it's not a wild opinion. There's a lot of people that also would agree with that. I want something that's crazy, something that no one's thinking of, but is true to you. And like Beth said, today we had the hot take of the week was based on Amorim and his plan B. So this is our hot take of the week.
First hot take is that Ruben Amorim has no plan B and he won't admit it.
I agree. I agree to a sense. I think, look, we've seen it.
First hot take is that Ruben Amorim has no plan B and he won't admit it.
I agree. I agree to a sense. I think, look, we've seen it in multiple games. It wasn't just the Everton game. That's not the first time we saw Ruben Amorim struggle. Or not like struggle, but let's say refuse to change the way we plays. But we've seen it numerous times where we come up against opposition where we should be taking advantage based on the way they play, based on the circumstances in the game, like a red card, and all these different things. But Ruben Amorim consistently just refuses to change the way he plays, or even like a systematic change or formation change. He only wants to play the way how he plays. And I've said it so many times, Ruben Amorim would rather lose his way than change it and win.
There was someone that said, and I had to bring it into the show, that Manchester United fans got frustrated with Ten Hag ditching the Ajax way of play to accommodate the players because the players couldn't do it. And he wanted to play to the best of the players' ability, and he constantly got questioned why we're not seeing a style of play that you played at Ajax. And he said, well, I'm adapting to the players I've got. And now people are annoyed at Amorim not adapting and sticking to his way.
It's a balance though. You have to do both. You've got to be able to adapt to what you have, but you also have to have some kind of style of play that you can bring into this team.
With Ruben Amorim, I have never, since his year in charge of 12 wins, by the way, 12 wins at the Premier League, in his year in charge, I've never seen him where I'm at the end of the game and I'm thinking, wow, you really changed that game while we're in it. We've had some good games, don't get me wrong, and we've had some good results. Very far and few between, but we have had them. But I've never thought, wow, there was a real shift in that game where he completely changed the game by substitutions.
So Beth, what do you think about that hot take this week?
Like I said in the video, I think it was a dead-on hot take. I agree with it, and I think Amorim today needs to prove that he has got different plans up his sleeve. He has got a plan B, because Palace aren't going to make it easy for us. We do better against teams. We play better against teams that will have the ball, try and play against us, and we can hit them on the transition. Crystal Palace's bread and butter is going on the transition, and they'll let us have the ball, and we don't know how to deal with that. So Amorim, how is he going to affect the game? How is he going to set up? How is he going to, manage in-game against Glasner? I'm really excited to see all those things, and that starts off with the starting 11. Let's see. Yeah,
I mean, quickly before we get that, a lot of people say in the chat we didn't do Glasner or Amorim in our this or that.
Ooh, they're coming back to us, Glasner or Amorim. I mean, a lot of people are asking multiple questions about what we were kind of saying there, but Glasner or Amorim, I think it's pretty obvious at the moment that Glasner is a better manager. He's got more in the game than Amorim in the sense of he's been doing it for a bit longer, and Amorim's a little bit earlier in his career. But from what Glasner's done from when he was over in Austria to then going in Frankfurt and then now at Crystal Palace, I mean, he's won a trophy for Crystal Palace against Liverpool, who at the time were one of the best teams in the world / in the league. So Glasner is so far a better manager than Amorim, but can Amorim start to compete with him? We'll have to wait and see. What do you think?
Yeah, I have to agree. I think Glasner does have a little bit more money in the bank, especially because Amorim always talks about it's not the formation, it's how they play it. Well, Glasner's playing the same formation, but he's just doing it in a different, and you can say it in a better way. So he does kind of have Amorim's number in that sense, and I think today is going to be that clash where two teams playing in a similar way, but who can really execute that formation, that system in the best possible way and win this game. So yeah, I'll be really interested to see who's going to win today.
Do you know what else is quite interesting as well? I mean, the poll so far on predictions is a 41% Palace win, 42% United win, 17% draw. So it's so 50-50 between whether people think United or Palace will win. Usually it's landslide to United because it's United bias, it's the United stand, which is what we love to see. But people are obviously, rightly so, very nervous about this game. Also, Ali Nico has said, team is literally the same as last season plus Mbumo. Red Devil says, Beth, you are spot on. I will not be trashing. I think it will be like the game at Brentford. We are second best all the time and lose comfortably. Dane on Davies says we need to replace more crap players for better ones, then we become better. It's that simple. People, be patient. Yeah. Oh God, I'm not getting into this. Managers make teams better. Like I'm saying, I get our squad isn't good enough to go and compete for the Premier League, but you're not telling me that squad isn't better than what it's been showing for the last year. Like, we need better players, absolutely, but we're going downhill.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not getting into it.
Let's get into the tactics.
You take over.
Let's
Mordzs.
get into the team. So as you guys know, we're going to go through the United team and we're going to try and predict exactly what Amorim is going to pick. We've got it right once this season. It's getting more and more difficult, if I'm being honest. There was a point where we could probably nail it on, but now I genuinely don't know who's going to be in the team. As we know, Sesko's injured, Cunha's injured, Martinez is back, so that is going to be a bit of a conversation as to where he's going to play, if he does start, and if he's going to be on the bench. But I kind of want to go through this team and go through the plays that we already know is going to start. So, I mean, let's start off in net. Sene Lamens. I mean, Beth, you want to talk a little bit about Sene? We spoke about it before anyway, but as a goalkeeper, what he's done for us so far this season, 6 games in, 1 loss. Is he the key change in our kind of how a little bit of the improvement in our game? Absolutely.
And I forgot to actually mention it earlier. You know, when people saying we're doing better this year, which slightly, yeah, we are in the league. But again, we have brought in some better players. You've got Lamens there, he's better than Anana, better than Bayinde. You've got Mbeumo there, and I forgot to. I just mentioned Mbeumo before, but Sene Lamens has made a huge impact. And having a goalkeeper that you feel comfortable with, safe with, is really nice to see. We've not seen him pull off any worldies, but everything that he's had to do, he's done comfortably, and he's looked really calm, assured. And I was seeing people criticising him for the Everton goal last week. Should he save it? Maybe. But I think when I actually watched it back, it was his initial positioning. He was quite far off his line. So he's not going to be able to save it because you have to reach further back. So it was just that initial positioning, but that'll come with time. And I think it was harsh because of where the play was at the time. But he's a good keeper, and I'm so excited because he's like, at this age, keepers aren't sometimes even in teams yet. You know, they're gradually building up. Maybe they're out on loan, but he's starting for United, and he looks like he's got a great career ahead of him. So yeah, he's been a massive boost, Sene Lamens.
100%. Now moving on, I'm going to go to the next 2 players, Matthijs de Ligt, and I'm even going to put in Brian and Mbeumo as well. We're going to talk about both of these 2 players. Are these the next 2 names on the team sheet for you?
Absolutely. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I think for me that, like, they're the solid 3 that are our best performing players. I think Ahmad will always start if he's fit, just depending on the position. Yeah. He's also one of the first names on the team sheet, but they're the big 3 at the minute.
Yeah, the big 3, and to be fair, you look at it, these are 3 players that have come in the last year and a half. I mean, a lot of people always talk about, we need to get rid of old players, etc. 3 new players that have come in, and they're straight away the 3 players that are first on the team sheet. So I guess new signings does make a big difference. Now let's move on to, let's keep it in the defence. Let's go for, I know Harry Maguire's not available today.
Nope, not available.
So I'm going to go for the other 2 centre-backs. I'm going to say Lenny Yoro will probably be a starter today.
I'd start Mazraoui there.
Okay.
But I think he'll go with Yoro.
Okay, you think he'll go with Yoro. But why Mazraoui? Because I know a lot of people were very critical of him as a right wing-back, and that was one of the positions that we thought, maybe he can play there, maybe you can put him there and Ahmad on the other side. He didn't have the best game. Is that a one and done for you as a right wing back, or do you feel like there is still a chance he could have a good performance there?
Put Ahmad at wing back. Mazraoui, bless his heart, he's not a winger, is he? He was expected to be, basically, playing as a winger down there, and he was in so many of them positions, especially when they went down to 10 men. And he unfortunately, going forward, he's just not got the best output when it comes to crossing the ball, when it comes to getting forward, because he's best position, in my opinion, is a right-sided centre-back. Defensively, he's good. He reads the game well. He's good on the ball because he's a full-back as well, and he's played as right-back as a left-back. He's good on the ball, so he's good at bringing the ball out from the back. He's kind of a pair of safe hands when you are playing the ball out from the back and you need someone to relieve pressure there. So he's not going to be the best wing-back because he's just not got that in his locker. You want someone there like an Ahmad. So even though he didn't have a good game against Everton, I wouldn't say it's because of him as a player. I think it's because of where he's being played. Once again, Ruben Amorim, in my opinion, not getting the best out of his players and playing them out of positions. And I don't want to harp back. I'm just going to say it one more time. Why do all of our players play really well on international break? Like the better plays than what people think, and Mazraoui is another one where at wing back you don't get the best out of him. I think it right-sided centre back is where you see the best out of him, which is why I'd play him there.
Yeah, and on the other side, I mean, that could be one position where we might get this wrong because Mazraoui might actually come back into that right-sided centre back position, especially considering Euro didn't have the greatest game against Everton. But I still think it'll be a bit harsh to just take him out because of that one game. And
yeah, maybe, yeah.
On the left-hand side, I mean, it's Luke Shaw, and now he's got a little bit more competition now with Martinez. I still think he's going to play Luke Shaw because he started literally every game this season, but Martinez definitely knocking on that door.
I do have to think, though, do you not think if you're Amorim, and team news is literally out in nearly 5 minutes now, so we better hurry along, Mordzs, and get this done so we can see where we're at. Don't you think if you're Amorim, I do have to say this, surely you've got to be making changes after that Everton game? Surely. Yeah. You cannot let the same 11 play again, surely.
Yeah.
Because it was an atrocious performance, and people went on Amorim, and rightly so, because he didn't do enough. But the players need to take some accountability for that as well. 100%. So I'd be surprised if he doesn't make some changes today. Anyway.
Yeah, but it's Amorim, so he surprises us every week, to be fair. Look, now looking into the midfield, again, onto your point, I don't think he's going to make that many changes. I think he's going to keep the same two midfielders, Bruno and Casemiro. Even though Kobe did play a little bit more against Everton, I can see him going again with Bruno Fernandes. Definitely Bruno Fernandes. But also Casemiro in that midfield. Do you agree?
I have a feeling he's going to make changes, you know.
Into the midfield?
No, I think the midfield will be the same.
Yeah, I think the midfield will stay the same.
I think he's going to play Martinez and Mazraoui, left and right side centre back. But that's just my opinion. Let's see.
Okay, we'll see. Going into the two wing backs, I mean, you mentioned Amad Diallo. I think he's going to play regardless, and I think he will put him back into that right wing back position. That is where we've seen him shine the best, and there is nobody who can really compete with him in that position. So it makes sense to keep Amad as a right wing back. On the left, a little bit more of a conversation. Dorgu, Dalot, we seem to have a conversation every single week, and none of them really kind of cement themselves in that position. It always seems like whoever starts ends up coming off because they're not having a great game. So I'm gonna put. I think I'm gonna put Dalot. You know.
I would play Dorgu, and I think you would as well, but I think he's going to play Dalot.
I think he's going to play Dalot, because I haven't seen Dalot starting in a minute, and I can see him kind of going a bit more defensive anyway, just Dalot at the back. So we're going to do Diogo Dalot as a left wing back. Now we've got two more positions. Like I said, Sesko and Cunha are both injured. So are we going to go back for Xerxes? I mean, I said it before, we did a little video before, and I said, I know Xerxes didn't have a great game, but I still feel like Xerxes can play in that position and have a good game. But does Amorim trust him again? Is he going to trust him again to play as a striker? I don't know. So, I mean, Beth, what do you think for those last two positions? We still have Mason Mount available.
I think he's going to play Mount. And it's interesting, actually, because I've just been looking on the United stand on our Insta polls and what people have been saying over on our Instagram. And 81% said they'd play Mount over Xerxes.
81%?
81% would play Mount over Xerxes. So I might go with our Instagram followers on that. I think it'll be, because we've got no striker, have we? So we need two more. I mean, I'd personally play Kobe in the midfield, move Bruno into 10 and play Mount and Bruno, but he's not going to do it. Yeah. I'll probably say I'll go with Xerxes and Mount. Xerxes and Mount, right? Yeah.
I'm trying to think, who else would he even
give Xerxes another chance? I know he was poor against Everton, but the whole team was.
Yeah. I spelled his name wrong. Joshua Xerxes and then Mason Mount.
Yeah.
When was the last time you see Mason Mount start? I feel like strangely enough, it's been a minute since we've seen Mason Mount actually start a game. And I feel like the start of the season, I guess, aside from his injury, he was one of our better players, especially when it comes to attacking wise. He was one of our better players, but recently he seems to kind of fallen out of that starting 11. And I mean, we spoke about Joshua Xerxes as well. He got one opportunity. A lot of people were quick to say, never start him again. He's not good enough, etc. For me, the best Joshua Xerxes we've seen can fit in this team. The best Joshua Xerxes, and that's if we can get the best Joshua Xerxes in this team.
And it wasn't people have got to think like that. This is it's like pre-season for him. He's had no minutes. He's got no match sharpness, no match fitness. So hopefully, like with a bit of minutes under his belt, 90 minutes under his belt, he has a bit more fitness if he does play today. Question, because that's the team we think we collectively in the comments as well. And get your comments in if you disagree. 4 minutes till team news now, so we'll see how close we are. Is that it's the team that we think Amorim's going to pick. Is that the team you would pick? And if not, what changes would you make to it?
Based on obviously players who are obviously fit, maybe I'd change Dalot for Dorgu. Luke Shaw didn't have the greatest game, but I'm not too I don't think Luke Shaw's going to have a terrible game today, in my opinion. Maybe you could put... My only thing with Martinez is the fact that we just haven't seen him play in such a long time.
Yeah,
it's tough to really say he's going to have a better game than Luke Shaw, because you don't know how good he's going to be straight away. I think long term, if we're talking about, you know, later on in the season, next season, etc., I think Martinez will eventually come back into the team as a starter. So I'm okay with the defence right now, if I'm being honest. The midfield, we're always going to have problems here, I think, in general. But I think as of right now, this is the two players that Amorim obviously favours. I want to see Kobbie Mainoo play a lot more minutes in general, because he's one of my favourite players in this team. I want to see him play more minutes, but can I see him starting a game over these two players? I don't see Amorim choosing him over any of them. Although, interestingly enough, I did see Amorim speak about it, and he did say that Kobbie Mainoo is a starter, but right now, those two players are playing better than him.
I'll tell you how you fit him in.
In midfield and put Bruno up top.
I said it in my road trip video. Me personally, what I would pick today, my team, be Larmans in goal. It'd be Mazraoui, De Ligt, Shaw. It'd be a midfield two of Casemiro and Mainoo. It'd be Ahmad on the right, Dorgu on the left. I'd have Mount and Mbeumo in behind. Bruno as a false nine. That's what I'd do. If you don't want to play him as a 10, fairs, but as a false 9, he's proved that he can play. He's one of the best finishers in the team. He's better further closer to goal. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think about that.
I'm not too bothered about that team. I don't mind it. I think this front three is going to be interesting to see, because that first game we played with Mount, Cunha and Mbeumo, that in my opinion was probably the best front three that we've seen so far. I mean, I think Sesko's had good games here and there, but those three, as a fluid front three, off being able to interchange in terms of where they play. I mean, we've seen Mbeumo drift onto the left. We saw Mount kind of dropping deep and all that kind of stuff, and obviously Cunha, he likes dropping deep as well as a false 9. I think that's the most fluid front three we've had. Because we don't have Cunha in this team, because Sesko's not in this team, I'm really interested to see how well this front three does. But it should work. Like, by right, it should work. If we see Xerxes be able to drop in and link up play with Mount and with Mbeumo, and like everyone is on their A game, we should be able to see some goals out of this front three here. But it's just about if everyone's on their day, I guess, one of those quotes, on their day, if everyone can perform. If
Mount's fit, he has to start. He has to. It makes us a better team. But anyway, let's see what Amorim picks. Get yourself back over here, because team news is literally out in 1 minute, Mordzs, and we'll get to see what lineup what lineup Glasner has gone with for Crystal Palace as well. We do have a Crystal Palace fan joining us very shortly, so get excited for that, because we'll be talking about Palace's lineup, and we'll be talking about how he thinks Amorim is doing with Manchester United, and how he thinks that Palace can win this game, and where he sees Palace's strengths, where his weaknesses. It's going to be really exciting, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But we'll have the lineup coming in very, very shortly, and see how close we've got, and let's see what Amorim's gone with. I feel like he's going to have to make changes today, just because how if you're Kobbie Mainoo, are you going to be motivated after seeing that Everton performance? You still can't get a start. Let's see.
Yeah. I mean, did you see the quotes he said about Dorgu? I mentioned it before.
Yeah.
What my thought process with that is I know team news coming out literally now, but I think let's go through the team now, because I really want to see if he starts, because that's going to trigger my opinion on that. On
Dorgu?
Yeah.
If he starts?
Yeah.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
No.
See, like this is go on. Say the team first, and I'll go into it.
I'll say the team, and we can get into it. So, the team news is as follows. It's Lamens in goal. It's a back three of Luke Shaw, De Ligt and Lenny Yoro. It is wing backs of Ahmad and Dalot.
Yeah.
And it is a midfield two of Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. It is a front three of Mbeumo, Xerxes and Mason Mount.
So we got it right? We did get it right? No,
oh my God.
We did.
No, we did.
Yeah,
we got it right. Go on.
I was thinking, wait, that sounds like the team that we picked.
Well, you basically got it right, because I was trying to make loads of changes to that, but Mordzs was putting his foot down and very nicely being like, Beth, this is what Amorim's going to pick. And he was right.
Yeah.
He was right. And you guys were right in the comments as well. And I'm surprised he's not made more changes than that. Yeah. Wait, so the only change he's made is Mazraoui and Dorgu out for Dalot and Mount.
Yeah.
I do think they're improvements to the team, I have to say. I do. Where the Dalot and Dorgu one, for me, it's 50-50, isn't it? But the Mount in is an improvement to the team, but they're the only two changes made after that performance.
Yeah.
So not rash changes from Amorim after after the Everton performance. He's still picked a lot of his go-to players there. What do you think of the team? Get your comments in. Brit A says, if Amorim played Bruno and Casemiro again in midfield and they don't turn up again, the fans are going to switch massively. That's on Amorim. Well, he's done it. He's only gone and done it. He's playing Casemiro and Bruno together again. Anna says, Dalot doesn't give us anything. He just runs and either passes the ball back or knocks out of play. I mean, he's starting, so let's get behind him. We want these players to do well, but I can understand, your frustration after this season. Rock244 says, Mordzs, where is your shirt from?
Boo, actually.
Boo here. Nice little plug. And we also have a few members coming into the chat as well. Thank you very much. What do you make of the team? Straight away, let's end that poll and let's do a poll of, are you happy with Manchester United's team? Just to kind of reiterate the starting 11 for Manchester United there, and I'll read the bench out as well. It's Lamens in goal. It's a back three of Yoro, De Ligt and Shaw. It's a midfield two of Bruno and Casemiro with Ahmad and Dalot as your wing backs. And it's a front three of Mbeumo, Mount and Xerxes. Do you know what? I'm quite happy Xerxes has been given another chance.
Yeah.
I don't trust that midfield of Bruno and Casemiro today against Palace's midfield. I mean, speaking of Palace's midfield, let's see what Crystal Palace's lineup actually is. I can get it here on my app quickly. Get the Crystal Palace lineup up and see who we're facing. We have got Henderson in goal for Crystal Palace. It's a back three of... Hold on, it's not updated. It's not updated. That's the predicted lineup. I don't want to get it wrong. That's twice we've got the lineup right this season,
Yeah.
And every time it's when it's just me and you and no one interrupting.
When these guests are just here, they mess it up, make it a bit fuzzy.
Right, I've got the lineup anyway.
Yeah, go on.
It's Henderson, Dean Henderson. It's Munoz, Richards, Lacroix, Gahey, Mitchell, Wharton, Kamada, Pino, Sarr, Mateta. So their go-to full strength starting 11 at the moment with the injuries they have and everything like that. So that is their full strength team, which you would expect. It's a good team. Yeah. How is Wharton and Kamada going to go up against Casemiro and Bruno? That's the question. It's
going to be tough. But anyway, I want to go back onto my point I was going to make about Dorgu.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I wanted to, this is the point I wanted to make, right? So Amorim made a comment about Dorgu. I didn't actually watch the full preview, but the press conference, but he was basically talking about how Dorgu sometimes feels a bit under pressure when he's playing, and you can see it sometimes with his first touch and his decision making, etc. And when he plays for Denmark, he makes better decisions. I think the goal that he scored recently is kind of to show how the difference in his mentality when it comes to playing for Denmark, when it comes to playing for United. Now, that's a fair enough comment to make, and I think we probably all agree with that anyway. We see it sometimes when we're watching a game. He always looks nervous when he gets a ball, and it's like there's 10 things going on in his mind. How's he gonna? When you think about something too much, it could be the most basic thing, but you end up doing it wrong because you're thinking about it so much. And I think that's something that Dorgu has a problem with. Let me say problem, but that's something that he needs to work on in his team. But my thing is with that is, I don't see how Amorim saying that in a press conference and then now not playing him is going to make him better. Because as a manager, you should be doing everything you can to kind of hide the weaknesses of your players, to kind of build them up and make other teams not know that that's their weakness. But if you're telling everyone, my left wing back's weakness is his first touch and his decision making, and he gets nervous under pressure, what do you think everyone's going to do now? They're going to go straight for him and they're going to make him a trigger every time he gets the ball, because they know when he gets the ball, he is very nervous and he doesn't know what he's going to do. So now that he's not even playing him, how do you even see his confidence how can we expect his confidence to now grow as a player when he comes on the pitch? Because now when he comes on, because he's going to come on eventually, he makes the same change every game, Dalot for Dorgu or Dorgu for Dalot. When he comes on the pitch, what do we think Crystal Palace is going to do? They're going to go and target Dorgu because the manager literally told you, this is our weakness. So it doesn't make sense to me as a manager. Your man management needs to basically uplift your team and make them think that they're the best player on the pitch. But right now, it doesn't seem like he's doing that for our players.
I get your point. I think he would be a trigger anyway if you watch. It's quite obvious.
But if you say that to people as a manager, you're saying,
we're not managers. We're not managers, and we can see if we were setting up a team, you would trigger the fact that Dorgu's first touch is not great.
Okay.
And he gets pressed off the ball quite easily. And so I don't think Amorim saying it is revealed like a big secret to all managers. Like, I think they know by watching United. But I do actually think it's not the right thing to do for Dorgu's confidence. I don't think he should be saying that publicly. I think he should put his arm around the shoulder behind the scenes and having that conversation. I don't think he should be telling the whole world. I agree with that.
That's my whole point. My whole point is more about Dorgu as a player. Because at the end of the day, right now, we're not going to get a top left wing back in January. Doubt it. We're probably going to be stuck with Dorgu and Dalot to the end of the season. I can see that happening. If we do get a player in January, it'll probably be a midfielder. So realistically, this is the guy that we're going to have to use for the rest of the season. So we should be trying to just get the best out of him. If you can say as a manager, when I watch this guy play for his country, he doesn't make these decisions. He's much more confident. He plays with a lot more freedom. He's a better player. We should be trying to replicate that environment and the feeling that he has for Denmark at United. You know what I'm trying to say? So I just don't think in that, there's loads of other things that Amorim probably hasn't done right, but in that specific case scenario, when we talk about getting the best out of our players, that's another example of how I don't feel like Amorim is getting the best out of Dorgu.
I mean, there's a lot. I think it's a really interesting point, and there's quite a few comments agreeing with you. I mean, there's a lot of conversation happening now in the chat and in the community. And if you just look at the poll, it's already on 2,000 votes, and we've got just over 9,000 watching. Let's get it up to 10,000. Let's smash a like on the video, everyone. Team news is out, but if you actually do see how people have voted, are you happy with this starting 11? 76% say no. 24% say yes. I mean, and there's so many comments coming in saying they're not happy with the 11. And if you're not happy with the 11, let us know what you would change. I can understand, because it's I would like to see more changes after that performance against Everton. I thought it was completely unacceptable. That midfield, I think Amorim just really wants to be proven right on it, and I'd take my hat off to him today if that midfield outplays Wharton and Kamada. I would, but I can just see it coming. So I can understand why people are maybe a little bit frustrated with the 11, but what would you change out of it if you could?
They've just got a lot more youth in their team as well. And also, when you look at the age of their players, not just the youth, but like, look at their defence, their centre-backs. I think all three of their centre-backs are 25 years old. Great age, all of them. They're not too young, they're not too old. They're kind of all going into their prime of their careers. You look at our defence, we've got a 20-year-old, a 25-year-old, and a 30-year-old. You know what I mean? Like the difference in like just the like physically of the team, they've got three players who are in their physical prime, and we've got three players that either get into their physical prime or probably a bit past their physical prime. You look at the midfield as well, Bruno, Casemiro, one of them's 30, 31 or something like that. They're both above 30 anyway. And then you look at their midfield, Wharton and Kamada. Again, they're not the same age, but again, I think just physically, like in terms of like experience and everything, they've just got a better age group of players to kind of run through our team pretty much. Yeah,
I just don't think it sets the right example as well to other players who are trying to fight to get in the team, and you can play rubbish and you just keep your place the next week. But I think that's a really good point actually about players' physical prime. Like the defence does kind of sum it up, and you do look at it, Lenny Yoro's just kind of coming up, Luke Shaw sort of like maybe
on the goal.
Yeah, and then it's probably in the middle going into his best years. But it's interesting. It is interesting. Abdi says the problem is not Amorim starting 11, but his substitutions. Jack Devlin says I would agree with Beth's starting team, so that's what I would change. Thank you very much. Did you like my starting team? Cobby and Casemiro in there, Bruno up front. I mean, interesting, isn't it? Mr. Jordan says, super disappointed in the lineup. It gets boring. Niall says, my only point is that Palace are tired from Thursday. What's up? Sham says, out of all our sacked managers, Amorim is the one who deserves to be sacked the most. I'd happily sack him for his Portuguese bias alone. People are frustrated with the lineup. I mean, sometimes when you just to put a positive spin on it, sometimes when you're really frustrated with a lineup, it ends up playing really well. We've seen that happen before. Yeah. We have seen that happen before. So that could be something that happens today. I'm just trying to be positive, guys. But I did say I would get the Manchester United bench up to see what options Ruben Amorim has, how he can affect the game. Let's see what his bench is that he has to play with. So the starting 11 is on your screens if you are watching. If you are an audio listener and you're on your way somewhere, maybe taking your kids to your football game or whatever, just to reiterate the starting 11, it's Lemens in goal, a back three of De Ligt at the centre of that back three, Lenny Yoro to the right, Luke Shaw to the left, midfield two of Casemiro and Bruno, wing backs of Ahmad on the right, we're thinking, and Dalot on the left, and a front three of Mount, Mbeumo and Xerxes. And then the subs bench is Bayinde, Dorgu, Heaven, Malacia, Martinez, Mazraoui, Mainu, Ugarte and Lacey. Very, very heavy on defenders. You've got two midfielders on there in Mainu and Ugarte, and then Shea Lacey's our only real attacking substitution.
Yeah, he's not coming on as well. We actually have a weak bench.
Yeah, it's quite weak, really. I'd love to see Lacey get on, but I don't think he will.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him get on. That's one thing I would criticise Amorim for, the Everton game. Like, we're losing anyway. Throw the kitchen sink at it. Bring on Shay Lacey.
Yeah.
Let's see if he pulls something out the bag.
Even on that point as well, I remember Fergie said this, and this is something that I feel like as a manager is one of the best things about Fergie. And he said, look, and this is where Fergie time kind of came into it. He said, look, there's 15 minutes of a game left, 10, 15 minutes, you're losing or you're drawing and you desperately want to win. There is no harm in just throwing everything at it, because why not? You're going to lose. If you don't do anything and you lose, you've lost. Are you going to take pride in saying that I stuck to my guns and lost how I wanted to play? No, you're not going to take pride in that, because you ended up losing the game anyway. No one's going to know that you stuck to your guns, because it doesn't really matter. Fergie said, I would rather just put on a striker, take off one defender and just go for it. And if we win, we win. And look how many times we won. That was literally one of Fergie's best things. I
think, and this is what's frustrating me with Amorim, don't get me wrong, I respect someone who will stick with the principles and has their way of thinking. We've all wanted a style of play at United for a long time. However, your style of play isn't working right. And in that game, I get why he doesn't change it to a back four now. That's the way he wants to play. Okay, that's the way why he was hired. Okay, I get that. Even though I would. But in that game, right, I feel as if he would rather... I think Amorim would rather lose playing with a back three than change it and win.
Yeah, I say that every single week.
I think he'd rather stick to his principles than win a game. Whereas, and I'm not trying to, kind of bring back other managers, and I think every manager had their time, absolutely, and I'm not saying we should bring anyone back, but and every manager had their flaws. The likes of Ten Hag, the likes of Ollie, they would throw everything at it. They would throw the kitchen sink at it, and that would sometimes get you that extra point here and there. So that's what kind of frustrates me a little bit. And even with Pep as well, I know he's got principles, but he changes, and he'll make rash decisions in a game to try and go and win you that game. Ferguson, who's the best manager of all time, has done it. So that's what kind of frustrates me about Amorim in that sense. Like my brother said to me the other day, if every single wing back or was injured at the club, he'd still somehow find someone to play there. Yeah,
that's facts. That's who was that hater?
Yeah,
that's facts. That is so true, because Amorim would literally. I say it all the time. Literally, so many shows that Amorim would rather lose his own way than win another person's way. And that to me, not another person, but in another way, that to me is one of the worst signs of a manager, because that means he wouldn't risk everything to win. Because as a manager, really, you're risking your tactics when you're changing something. You're risking what you know when you change the way you play to go and win, because you're doing something different. You're doing a plan B. I heard Rio say one time that in training, they would have specific training sessions for in case something happened in the game. So say you got a red card, or let's just say you're 3-0 down, or whatever it is. They would have specific training sessions to plan for what would happen. What are we going to do if we needed to go to plan B or plan C? And that could be change of formation. That could be certain players coming on and playing a different type of position. They would make sure to do that just in case. And that Everton game, I'm so confident. This was back. I know we don't like talking about back in the day and the different managers, but if this was back in the day, there would have been a plan to go for. There would have been a plan to go to if they went down to 10 men. What are United going to do? We didn't have a plan.
I tell you what, manager probably would have a plan. Oliver Glasner.
Yep.
I think he would. And on that note, I want to introduce our Crystal Palace fan to the show, Michael Brown-Fraser. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks
first and foremost, because people will be asking this question, how does a Crystal Palace fan live in Manchester?
Well, I met my girlfriend, now wife, back here in 2004, and she relocated up to Manchester.
Okay.
And been here ever since. So I live just in Stretford.
Nice.
So I'm very close. This is my local team, but it's not my hometown team. So that's the reason.
Can I just say that's a beautiful kit.
It's going to be a collector's item, because this is the FA Cup winning shirt as well.
Oh, so is it?
Love it.
That's it. There you go.
Happy wife, happy life, and a nice shirt as well. So
indeed.
Yeah, thank you to the wife. So because now we've got Michael Brown-Fraser on the show. I mean, Crystal Palace, as a Crystal Palace fan, you must be really happy with the way things are going at the moment. Oliver Glasner, like you said, FA Cup winning shirt there, and he brought that trophy to you as well. I mean, how are you feeling as a Palace fan at the minute? Are you happy with the way things are going?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've had barren years. We've had 2 administrations. We've played in 3 FA Cup finals. We've lost twice to you guys. Thank you very much.
No
you know,
worries.
don't want to let that rub in. But you know, we take the rough with the smooth. So we've had sort of like the bad hardships. We're now coming through a really, really happy time at this moment in time. We're just riding that crest of a wave. We want to be humble at the same time. We don't want to be getting too carried away because we know European football is just horrendous at the moment. You know, we lost recently against Strasbourg, and you know, we're finding that hard in that Conference League at this moment in time. We need to win our last 2 games against Shelbourne and Cups. So we've got the work to do, and at the same time, we've still got to think Man City, Leeds, Arsenal in the Carabao Cup as well, just at the beginning of December. So we're going to get injuries. We're going to lose games. We're going to lose momentum. So right now, getting to about 5th in the league, happy.
You're in that position as well where you're kind of transitioning to trying to be like a European team, and you need a deeper squad, and it's that transition, and people are trying to take all your players as well at the same time. You know, Eze and Elise now absolutely balling out at clubs that are 2 of the best clubs in the world currently. People want Adam Wharton, people want Mark Gahey from you. Like, I mean, your setup there is brilliant, and when you've got a manager like Glasner who's trying to kind of build up into the league, into Europe, it's kind of difficult, I suppose, to try and find that balance. Yeah,
definitely, because I think everybody wants to play as well. So for the likes of sort of like Jeremy Pino at this moment in time, he's just finding his feet, but you know, he's getting there.
You can see him improving each week.
Yeah, the goal against Wolves that he scored, you know, that's just the mere talent of him. But you know, you've still got Daniel Munoz. He's a player that
so good.
You know, but he's already said in his in one of his press releases that he would love to play for Man United.
Yeah,
so we're horrific at that, thinking, don't say that. You know, we want you to stay.
Yeah.
But you know, Adam Wharton, you know, Liverpool, you guys are interested in him. So teams will come in and they'll pick at us, and we've just got to try and find that new talent from somewhere. You know, there's some great Championship players out there, but at the same time, you know, we want them to actually come and stay at Palace and just bed down.
What is realistically a Palace good season?
Ooh, difficult to say. I mean,
you could say you could go and win another FA Cup or win a Conference League, etc. That's what you want as a fan. But realistically, what would, by the end of the season, what would happen for you to say, you know what, I'm happy with that?
I'd love another good cup run, obviously. I'd love, you know, to do well in Europe, because I think that'll entice bigger name players. We've always finished around about 10th or 11th in the league. So if we can get into single digit figures and, you know, just start pushing into sort of like, you know, that sort of like 7th or 8th in the league, that's where I'd be happy with, really.
Yeah, not too bad.
Can I actually, speaking of Europe, I mean, do you think it's going to affect you today, having played midweek? Because United, the last time we played was Monday, we're not in Europe. You know, so we should be fresher than you, but do you expect United to have more intensity than Palace today?
I don't know. It depends on the lineup that you guys have got. I mean, having seen the actual team sheets and everything else, you know, I think we might give you a real good run for your money.
Gosh, you do.
We know.
I think for me, I think you need to get in your central midfield. You might need to push Bruno Fernandes, sort of like where Mason Mount, you know, I think where you had your prediction, playing further up top, and then have something like an Ugarte and Casemiro just holding it. Because I think if you can just stifle our midfield, that's where our creative process is. If Adam Wharton's on song, that's it. He's just going to spin a left foot pass, dissect your midfield, your defenders, and we've got the pace. That's the thing. You haven't got the pace at United. You need, you know, someone who's got that, and if you get turned, that's it.
That's what happens as well. And you know, Michael Brown Fraser can see it. We can see it. Amorim is hell bent on playing Bruno and Casemiro, making it work. But I agree with you. I've watched Palace a lot under Glasner, and I've watched him a lot this season. Adam Wharton is very good. I actually think Kamada's doing a pretty good job. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about what you think about that. But Adam Wharton is clearly one of your better players, and he does control a game. And when you've got players like we have going forward, I do think we've got some threats going forward. But how do you stop? How do you stop Crystal Palace playing? That's something you've got to look at. And I think you were dead on there. And if you can keep it tight in the midfield, we've got the players who, if you get the ball to them, they can hurt you. I mean, you've got a good defence as well. You've got a good team. I mean, it's interesting. What do you make of Amorim though for Man United?
It's a difficult one. I think he's a bit Marmite for you guys. I think some fans love him, some guys hate him. But I think it's just a case of the succession of managers that you've had previously, the different styles of play and the different formations. I think he hasn't got necessarily the right players at this moment in time. If he had the players that he wanted, I think you might see a completely different output. But at this moment in time, I don't know. I'm on the fence with that one.
From what you've seen I'm sure you've watched a few United games and watched a few Crystal Palace games. What is the main difference in the way our both teams play?
I think you guys like to control the tempo of the play. You like to hold onto possession. We don't mind if you guys have the possession. It takes me back to when I used to play football semi-amateurishly. But it was one of those where one of my coaches said, look, there's one player on there on the opposition team who's absolutely useless on the ball. Let him have the ball. And that's all they'll do. So they will actually mark every single player and let the person who's not good on the ball. I don't know, I'm not going to say who that is for United, but you just let that person have the ball.
Yeah.
They will give you the ball because they don't know what to do. They'll have too many choices. As soon as someone goes to close them down, that's it, you've got the ball. And suddenly you've turned defence into attack.
Yeah.
So that's me personally, how, Palace will play it, but we are very much, we'll let you have the ball. We don't mind just sitting back and we'll just counter-attack you.
And that's the problem.
Brilliant as well.
That's the problem with United is I don't know what the stats are, but when we have more possession, we score less goals.
Yeah.
We're less effective on the ball. When we have less possession, we're kind of similar to you guys. We actually play better on the transition because of, I guess, the personnel of our players. And you look at our midfield as well. We don't necessarily hold onto the ball that well when we actually are trying to play football. We kind of force it. A lot of people were looking at the last Everton game and we had about 25 shots, 26 shots. Most of them were just pointless shots or just crosses into the box and like a header or something where they're not clear-cut chances where it's like loads of one-on-one chances where you look at a City and Arsenal, they have 20 shots, they're at least 10 or 15 of them are valuable, good high XG shots, where ours is, we might have 5 shots on target, the rest of them are all off target. So I think in this kind of game, that is really just going to play in Glasner's, I guess, or in Crystal Palace's favour, because if you let us have the ball, we're pretty much going to say to you, okay, cool, we're not going to create anything until you have the ball.
Yeah.
And when you do have the ball, you're going to create more than we do.
Yeah.
So everything's going to play into your favour.
Yeah. I mean, a good example of that, when we played in Europe fairly recently against Larnaca, we had, I think, 76% possession. We had about 23 shots on target, and we lost that game 1-0. That just showed you that when we've tried to go possession-based, we are not that good. We've got too much time on the ball. We're thinking too much. If we're playing against Liverpool when we beat them 2-1, they had, I think, 76%, but we went down the other end and we scored the 2 goals. We got the goals that mattered. So for us, if we think too much about it, we're gonna lose. If we're going on instinct, we seem to create, and that's how I think Palace will win this game. And I've already said the prediction, 3-1.
3-1, and I really do think that you could be onto something there. And usually, as a United fan, I'd be on here saying, "No, come on, United will be able to go there." And 3-1 really, but based on the way that Palace plays, based on what I've seen from United this season, based on what I've seen from Palace this season, based on the previous fixtures, I think it's really tough to try and say United will win this game, especially at Selhurst. Like it's not a happy hunting ground for us, and it's a really difficult place to go. It really is, and you've got a great fan base down there that will bring a very good atmosphere. So it will be interesting. I find it very, very good insight what you said there about letting player have the ball, and I'll see which player at United gets given the ball today. A few people put the predictions down in the comments. People keep saying Dallo, Dallo, Dallo. I mean,
I don't know.
I think there could be quite a few of them, to be honest with you. I don't think there's just one player. There could be quite a few of them.
I mean, if you think about it, on Thursday night, obviously we didn't have a great game against Strasbourg, and it was very, very frustrating because Sarr hit the post, Wharton hit the bar, and Mateta wasn't on form, and he came off after 60 minutes. But that probably wasn't the game that they needed. We seem to turn up more when we're playing against bigger teams. So like your United, your Liverpools, your Chelseas, your Arsenals, we seem to be playing much better and we turn it on. So I think that this game, we will be up for it in such a big way because of what's happened on Thursday night. So That's the thing.
It's the right mentality to have as well. It's really good like, having that insight from you as well, who kind of knows your team inside out. I mean, I've got a question here from Ricky, who is a panellist on our show, and he's asked me to ask you, would you swap Sarr for Mbeumo if offered?
Ooh.
It's been a big debate this week, Sarr or Mbeumo.
It's a difficult one, that one. Only because I know how good Mbeumo is. Don't get me wrong, he's a phenomenal player. But I think Sarr is just a bit of a rough diamond, and he's just got legs on him. And, you know, yes, he will create chances, he will miss chances. But I just like the way how he plays in that Palace team. I don't know if Mbeumo would be happy to play in that Palace team. But I think Sarr has found his home. And I think it's just the way how the players and the transitions that they've got at Palace, it works out well. So I'd actually keep him.
I think that's a good answer, and you know, you back your club.
Yeah.
I'd have Mbeumo because I think he's fantastic. But we're United fans, and I think it's good to back your club and your players like that. But also, you know, like you said, to even I think for Sarr to even be kind of compared to Mbeumo like that is obviously a really, really high compliment to him. I mean, you've got loads of players who I feel like if you compared them to other players in our team would say, you know, Wharton or Casemiro, you'd go with Wharton, wouldn't you? But with that one, it's a really tough one. I think that's credit to Mbeumo and Sarr that people are kind of debating that.
Yeah, I've got one question as well.
Yep.
Beth mentioned it before, but there's probably going to be a few players in your team that might be looking to leave at the end of the season, or they might not be looking to leave, but other clubs are going to be wanting to take them. If you had to keep one, who would you keep?
Oh, it's a good one, that.
Okay. So we already know that Gay's going. You know, that's without a shadow of a doubt. If I was to say I want to pick one that I'd like to keep, Adam Wharton. And that's because I think that central midfield, that switch of play, that's just amazing to see. I mean, a lot of teams like to play balls structurally through the lines, defence to midfield to attack. You play a ball there, he can just play it blind. And that just changes everything. And we've got the speed and we've got the pace. Yes, we've lost someone like Eze, who was an attacking midfielder, but we've got Jeremy Pino, and he's now coming into it, and he's now working on that. Ismail Assar, he's got the pace, he's got the legs. Brilliant.
I mean, I've got a question off the back of that. There's a lot of debate between United fans what midfielder we should go for, because I think it's been said by Ornstein Romano, top journalists at United, are going to go for two midfielders next year. Ben Jacobs as well, who we have on the show, who's fantastic, has said that. Do you think United should be going for Adam Wharton, because people are debating Belabor, Anderson? I mean, good players, but do you think Wharton's the one that, I know you wouldn't want to let him go, but do you think he's the one we should be looking at?
It depends on the style of play. It depends on whether or not Amorim wants to actually have that quick transition of, you know, play a ball there to get it out wide. If you want that, yes, get him. But if you're not, then, you know, Elliot Anderson is a perfectly good example of a midfielder who should be, you know, you should be going for, because he manages to control everything. He is almost a bit like Declan Rice. He's in there and he's getting in and amongst it. For me, I don't really know what your ideal midfield was, because technically when you had McTominay in there, he was good. And look what he's doing now, you know, at Napoli. You know, you can see the transition and you're thinking, why did you let go of him? And I know that some United fans go, well, he was rubbish and he was this. But when you had McTominay and Fred, two similar players playing in exactly the same position, it just didn't work. Yeah,
it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, from what you're saying and watching Adam Wharton for Palace in England as well, it'd be like Adam Wharton kind of, I mean, the different players, but would take over the Bruno Fernandes role, the one that he plays in the midfield if he did come in terms of dictating the play. I mean, can you imagine playing him with Elliot Anderson? I could only dream. Probably won't get either of them knowing us.
But then what about Kobbie Mainoo? I mean, like, you know, you've got a ready-made midfielder there in Kobbie who can easily take over that role.
Yeah.
And I've got a guy that I work with at Richardson Sport who's, you know, worked with him at a young age, and he was brilliant. absolutely brilliant. And, you know, he was head and shoulders above his age group for what he can do. But I don't know, you know, I heard about it before, about the Portuguese bias. I don't know if that's there, but, you know, there could be something in there. But I do think that Kobbie Mainoo could be playing in that central midfield position for United.
Definitely could. He definitely could. And I had a conversation. In fact, shout out, there's one guy that he watches the show. I think he might be watching today. He's from Nigeria, and I was playing basketball with him recently, and we were talking about this whole thing about Kobbie Mainoo and Amorim, all this kind of stuff. And he said to me that Kobbie Mainoo is the kind of player that United will be looking at to buy in the next few years.
Yeah.
In the next 2-3 years, if he was playing for you guys, or if he was playing for Brighton or another mid-table team, United will be keeping our eye on Kobbie Mainoo to see his progression for the next 2 or 3 years to get him into this team.
Yeah.
So that's why it confused me when a lot of people say he's not good enough right now. Let's sell him. Let's make a quick flip on him. Let's get some money for him. Whereas we should be looking at this kind of player, even if he's not starting right now. That's cool. Let's go and get a Wharton or an Anderson, but we should be at least understanding the talent that we have in our club and the development that he could also have in the next 2 or 3 years, and be thinking, this is someone that could save us £80 million in 3 years' time, because we're going to go and try and buy someone who's just as good as him for that amount of money. And that's why it confused me when a lot of people are trying to write off Kobbie Mainoo because of poor form, etc., when we're not even trying to get the best out of him right now to even see what he can do. So it doesn't really make sense to me.
So I've got a question for you. If you had the opportunity, would you sign back McTominay?
Realistically, no.
Okay.
Realistically, no, because it doesn't make sense to bring him back to this environment when he's having the best time of his life over there at Napoli. We don't know what Amorim's even going to do with him. We think he's going to play him in the right position and put him in the right environment to win, but we've not seen him do that for most players. So realistically, I don't think for McTominay's career, it'll be the best thing to come back to United. However, I completely understand why people are looking at his form and how well he's improved over the last 2 years and say, you know what, he would improve this team. A lot of people would improve this team.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I think he would, like Mordzs said, he would absolutely be a boost for us and make us better. But I wouldn't sign him back, just based on where he's at in his career and where he plays. For example, I think McTominay is better further up the pitch. So for Napoli, he's basically playing as number 10. We've got quite a few forward-thinking players like that. We need more of a all-round midfielder, like number 8, number 6. I think McTominay, when you're looking at, he can play there, but his all-round game, when you bring him back deeper, isn't what we need. If you were to play him further forward as a 10, yeah, fantastic. Especially when you're looking for a goal, he can be really good in them areas. But we've gone and signed Cunha, we've got Mbumo. I think that chapter's been and gone. But do I regret letting him go? Maybe I would have kept him around. Yeah, I wouldn't sign him back, but I wouldn't have let him go when I did. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I think the way how you sort of like United have been over the past couple of seasons, you've had so many. You haven't really had that structured team. You've had maybe a bit of a spine, but everybody else has just come and gone and everything else, and you just need that. This player can actually just grip the game by the scruff of the neck and just do something different. And I think that's sometimes what you need. And I think that's where Palace comes into their own, really. Because I think we've got players where, collectively as a squad, we haven't got a major standout player. But, every now and again, there'll be one player that will just peek their head up just a little bit and do that little bit more.
Great, thank you so much. I mean, your insight has been fantastic. Before I let you go, we just need to ask you one last question. You've already given us your score prediction. Do you want to repeat it for everyone?
3-1 to Palace.
3-1 to Palace. Have you seen the Goldbridge clip where he goes 3-0 to Palace? Have you seen it? We'll show you it after. But the last question is, and we ask it to every opposition fan when they come on the show, is if you could take one United player and put him in Palace's team, who would it be?
Ooh. At this moment in time, you got me on this one.
You know what?
I would probably say either Mbumo or Cunha, only because I think they've literally got United on their feet every single time they've got the ball. I remember the Liverpool game when Cunha was just on the touchline and he took out 3 Liverpool players. And you're just thinking, wow, and that was it. Liverpool, whether or not you want to think that they were on form or not, you guys ripped them apart. And Mbumo was just awesome on that day. So those would probably be the 2 players that I would have, one of those 2.
two of our better players as well. So I have to say you've got two good picks there. I think that they definitely are two players that are players that can change a game, and that's really important to have them players in your side. So thank you very much, Michael, for coming on. Really do appreciate it. I wish we could continue talking. I want to ask you more about Glasner.
Honestly,
we might be coming for your whole setup.
He's a little professor, isn't he? He's great. He's absolutely phenomenal. You know, and I think working with a smaller team, smaller budget, will help him once he's ready to move on. But I think, you know, like Notorious B.I.G. said, "More money, more problems." You know, that's the problem. It's gonna be that, you know, and you've got, you know, more you know, ladders to climb and more problems to actually go through. But at Palace, he seems to be doing the job.
Just really, really quick, do you see him going on to like at Palace are a good club, but do you see him going on to like a big, one of the big six clubs or one of the big clubs in? It
pains me to say it, but yeah, because I think for what he's done. I know that towards the end of last season, you know, Bayern Munich were sniffing around him. I think Real Madrid were also sniffing around him at some point as well. So there will be something, but it just depends on where he wants to go. If he wants to stay in the UK, you know, there will be Premiership clubs that will probably come in for him with bigger budgets. Possibly you guys, if you want to get rid of Amorim. Don't want you to. But, you know, Liverpool, they're going through a little bit of a weird period at this moment in time. You know, Klopp doesn't want to go back there, but, you know, you never know. It's just one of those things.
Thank you so much. Appreciate all of your insight, and thank you for coming on the show. The community has loved it. So many positive comments about your insight, and we've loved it as well. So, not today, but for the rest of the season, good luck, and I hope you get through in Europe as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Mordzs?
Yeah.
Great insight. Love it. I mean, there's some comments coming in as well. We've got Carlo Montana saying we should hijack Gahey and play Shaw further up. Jace Mentality has put a super chat in. Anto Mac, 5 defenders on the bench should be minimum 3 and youth substitutions there. It is interesting that he's not put even Chido Wobby on the bench.
That doesn't surprise me though, because we've not seen him at all the whole season. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, why is Chido not playing? Like, I'm not seeing it, so that doesn't surprise me a little bit. I'll be honest. I
know he's got a lot of defenders on there though. I think that is an interesting take. Andy Atherton says, "Hi Beth and Mordzs. Odds on the game is 6-5 to Palace, 6-5 Palace and 9-4 United. This is the highest odds United have ever been against Crystal Palace. Bookies are profitable for a reason."
Oh, so we're definitely going to lose them.
Basically. Brand Muffin 411 says, "Morning Beth, 4 a.m. here in Canada actually. I'm ready for football. Come on United." So we thought we had it early, getting in here at 8 a.m. for a 10 a.m. countdown to kick off, but they're up at 4. Respect. I hope you get a decent performance this time round. Tony Cox says, "Shaw, Xerxes, Dallo are not good enough for Man United. I like Amorim, but he's not good enough." The Real Tyrone says, "Shots fired back by Amorim to Dorgu after he was caught liking a post for saying Bruno and Casemiro can't play the pivot."
Yeah, I've seen that.
Do you think that's anything to do with it? He unliked it quite, didn't he?
I don't know.
Big Jimmy says, "Expecting comedy Goldbridge today with that lineup." Well, Goldbridge isn't happy with the lineup, I'll tell you that. He's really not happy. You'll hear his say in around 5 minutes' time when he goes live for the watch along. And Abdi says the problem is not Amorim's starting 11 but his subs. Just quickly everyone, by the way, before we answer some of your questions as well, which I'm really excited to do, following on from this weekend's Premier League action, on Tuesday night it's Newcastle versus Spurs at 8:15, and that will be a watch along on That's Football, so make sure you're there for that. And Wednesday you've got Arsenal versus Brentford, 7:30 kickoff on That's Football as well. 2 crackers there. Both Newcastle and Arsenal at the minute are playing some really good football, exciting football, so there'll be good ones to watch over there. And then, as ever, on Friday it's Bundesliga, where you don't just do the watch along, you actually watch the game as well. Live match footage on there with Goldbridge this Friday. It is Mainz versus Borussia Mönchengladbach, and then straight after the Manchester United versus Crystal Palace game later on That's Football, you have Chelsea Arsenal, another big one. Are you excited for that Chelsea Arsenal game? I'm really excited for that.
That's going to be huge. I'm desperate for Chelsea to win. I know a lot of people want Arsenal to win the league, so they want Arsenal to win all the games, but Arsenal a little bit humbling. They get a bit too, I get it, you're a great team, beat Bayern Munich. No.
They're an exceptional team at the minute. Exceptional.
Probably the best team in Europe, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Them and Bayern Munich are up there, but that's a little humbling. I don't mind Chelsea doing it.
I would like Chelsea to win, just put a cat amongst the pigeons. Ricky will text me and say, why are you saying that? Because we want Arsenal to win the league, because you don't want City or...
I want Chelsea to win the league.
I mean...
If anything, if it's between those 4 teams, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Chelsea win the league all day.
Chelsea are not going to win the league.
They're not, but if you had to pick one of the 4, I'm picking Chelsea.
Arsenal will win it, but they'll still win it if they lose today. So
yeah.
I'd like to make it a bit more exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people still think Arsenal might fall off eventually. I don't think they will. I think they look really, really, really good.
Sure.
I mean, again, look how far away we are from them sort of teams. But Mordzs, it's getting to that time where we do our score predictions. So what's your score prediction?
Yeah, I've gone for a draw. I've gone for a 2-2 draw. Realistically, it's probably going to be like 1-1, maybe even 0-0, to be fair. But I've gone for a draw. It is going to be difficult, but for some reason, United, when everyone thinks they're going to lose, they just win. So there's something about it. Something about this game that's just giving me a bit of a weird feeling that we're just going to somehow come out of here and just get a jammy 1-0 win or 2-1 win or something like that. But I think I'm going to go, but as of right now, I'm going to say 2-2.
I'm going to go with
Don't change it.
2-1 Palace, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I really want United to win. I want nothing more, and I hope I'm wrong, but I just can't see past that at the moment. That's what I'm feeling. Hopefully, I've reversed jinxed us there. We do have some questions coming in from the community before we hand over to Goldbridge. I think there's some interesting ones. There's been a lot of talk about how many of the next 10 games we are winning or losing. So I'm going to go through the next 10 games, and you just straight off the bat say win, loss, or draw. No explanation.
Okay.
You've just got to say it. Okay. Next 10 games.
So I'm just yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
West Ham at home.
Win.
Wolves away.
Have to be Wolves. Have to.
So win.
Yeah. Win.
Bournemouth at home.
Tough. Can I say draw?
Yeah.
Draw.
You're optimistic, you. Aston Villa away.
Oh, tough. That'd be my lead that game. Aston Villa's playing decent. Yeah.
Let's go when we lost for that one. Newcastle at home.
That's gonna be tough as well, you know. Draw.
Wolves at home.
We have to beat Wolves. I'm sorry, we can't lose to Wolves this season.
Leeds away.
That's gonna be tough. They almost beat City, but it's Leeds, so we have their number. I'm gonna say win.
Burnley away.
Burnley almost capitalised on us the other game. I'm gonna say win, but it's tough again. Yeah.
City at home.
Loss.
And then Arsenal away.
Yeah, loss. Yeah, the rest of them are going to lose. But the ones that I'm a bit 50-50, you know, because you never know how a team's going to turn up on the day. And I'm trying to be optimistic as a United fan. I do want us to win the majority of the games, but yeah, that Leeds game is going to be tough. Bournemouth game is going to be super tough.
I think we'll beat Villa away. But I think Burnley away could be a humbling for us. I think it could be a stinky 1-0 to them or something.
Yeah, so I mean, Villa, don't sleep on Villa, you know, I'll be honest.
No, Villa are a good side, but the way they play, I think actually suits us. They play quite high line, don't they? We're quite good against them sort of teams. But
fair enough.
We'll see. Oh gosh, I've just been told, remember AFCON as well is coming up.
Oh yeah, these are all during AFCON as well.
I mean, not all of them, but the
later games I think will be.
AFCON, when you get around the Newcastle game and onwards, so you look in Newcastle, Wolves, Leeds, Burnley, City, Arsenal, AFCON. I mean, they might be back for potentially the Arsenal or the City game. Depends how they do, but
no Ahmad, no Mbeumo. Who else? No Mazraoui.
Yeah, Mazraoui's not really been playing anyway.
No Bayern.
Maybe might give Manu a chance. I mean, if he can't get a chance then when can he?
But to be fair though, that doesn't affect the midfield.
As Cole Palmer says, free my boy.
Yeah, to be fair. But I mean, that's Casemiro and Bruno are not, like, they're not African. You know what I mean? So they're not going to AFCON. So
that's true, to be fair.
I can't see them changing the midfield anyway.
He could push Bruno further forward and put Manu in, but I think I said this, I said it on the press conference when people were saying, will Bruno play further forward? And I was saying, I want him to. But I think, like, Amorim refuses to play Bruno further forward now, because I think if he played well there and we did well, then it'd show that he really shouldn't be playing in the midfield. That proves Amorim wrong. He's so hell-bent on being right, I think, on that. We've got some more super chats coming in. We have Kev United Mordzs. I have the exact same feeling. When we think they'll lose, they'll somehow win it. I love that positivity coming in. Island Boy Trucker says, morning Beth and Mordzs, great show and a good guest. Thank you so much for your super chat. Thank you to the community as well for getting involved. It's 11:30 a.m. here in the UK. in Manchester, specifically where we are now, as we prepare for Manchester United to play down there in London. And we've got over 11,000 people watching. We really highly appreciate everyone getting involved. Smash a like on the video, share it around. We love these countdown to kickoffs. And when United, can test your patience, these shows kind of get us through it. So hopefully it will build into some good momentum for Manchester United, and we can have a good forum later. We have Kev on the show, we have Ricky on the show. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Should be a good forum.
Who's your player to watch?
Player to watch based on the starting. Let me look at the starting 11 again. Based on the starting 11.
Oh yeah, look at our right starting 11.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Mason Mount. We haven't seen a lot of Mason Mount recently, and I feel like like I said earlier in the season, he was a bit of a game changer for us, and I think he did perform very well. Then he also had the injury; he's not really been in the team as much. So I think Mason Mount coming back into the starting 11 should make an impact, and I hope it does. To be fair.
So you're nicking my player to watch. I see the way you move.
Yeah.
I'll go with Dalot.
Why?
Because he's coming into the team. A lot of people disagree with him coming into the team.
Yeah.
He's had a poor season by his standards, and he needs to show a bit today for me.
Okay.
He needs to show a bit, because deep down inside Dalot, I actually think there's a play there, not as a left wing back, as a right back. I think as a right back, when he's on it, he can be a really good right back, and I think technically, he's got ability. But this season he's been so poor. As a wing-back, he's been poor, and especially on that left side, he's been poor. So I want to see him actually turn up today. Yeah. Whether I'm asking him too much, who knows? But I think he's someone to keep an eye on, considering only 2 changes made, and it's Mount and Dalot. So let's see what they can add to the team. But look, Mordzs, that's all we've got time for, because Goldbridge is now live. What shall we infiltrate the comments with?
Ooh, that's tough. I don't know. What can we put?
Money Mace.
Yeah, let's go.
Money Mace. We'll go with Money Mace as Mason Mounts in the team.
3-0 to Palace.
3-0 to 3-0 to Palace. Go with that. 3-0 to Palace. We don't want it to be. We don't manifest. We don't want to manifest though.
Yeah.
Do what you want. Yeah, do what you want, guys. But look, we'll be back straight after Goldbridge's final score. He's got the watch along, then his final score, where you can get involved in the player ratings. We'll be back from the Manchester studio with Mordzs, Ricky and Kev. I want to say another big thank you to Michael Brown-Fraser for coming onto the show, Crystal Palace fan with some great insight there. Thank you to all of the community, because you're what makes this possible. Thank you for everyone for getting involved, and we will see you shortly. Oh wait, we've got to do the last thing.
Yeah. Come on, United!
Come on, let's go.
I'm looking at that camera.